Silverback. Just waking up, waking up to Juice Radio. Kool-Aid in my cup. Check out my melody. Check out my melody. Y'all don't get it, forget it. What up, melody? Radio for indie or industry, R&B, EDM or MCs. Hip hop, send in your MP3s, EP singles, or full CD. Straight to rotation, cut loose. What's that radio station? The Juice. Hey, this is Kool-Aid. And when I'm in Minnesota, I listen to the radio station, The Juice. Like you should.
When your time is up, you won't know the day. You won't know. The love is real, but it could be fake. You won't know. If I pray to the Lord, will I be okay? You won't know. I watch everyone because the game is changed. You won't know.
When all is lost, sometimes you throw your hands up, wondering why the Lord passed you that cup. Even though it's a blessing to wake up, but can't get off the pillow. Depression got you stuck because your best homie turned witness against you, and you shoulda knew he was jealous. He wanted to be you. He about to send you for a bid, and you know you love your kids. 20, your honor that he is. Hey ladies, that man tearing down your esteem, beating, cheating, sneaking every weekend. You're too good for him. You gon' be okay. Love yourself, close your eyes, and walk in faith.
When time is up, you won't know the day. You won't know. The love is real, but it could be fake. You won't know. If I pray to the Lord, will I be okay? You won't know. I watch everyone because the game is changed. You won't know.
Tomorrow ain't promised. It's so hard. How will I make it? You won't know. When I close my eyes and say my prayer, will it take it? You won't know. I wanna believe I'm on my knees. Will it leave me naked? You won't know. Will it cover me, set me free, and be protected? You won't know. You just believe what you call that faith. They broke your heart, but keep that faith. You lost your job, but keep that faith. You can't see it, but it's there. Faith.
The walls are closing in, bills are getting paid. Life's good on Facebook, you want to trade. The devil wants a slave. You see how mama prayed? You didn't get hit, one of bullet spray. Faith is a power, you believe in what you can't see. Stepping out in doubts, it rather just ain't me. For real, I just can't be broken or worried. No ever form can hurt me. Your heart is where your church be. Was there struggles a lesson, every lesson there's a blessing. Walking through the world with each blessing. Faith is your protection. Press rewind when you're in the time of stressing. Real faith don't leave no second guessing.
When your time is up, you won't know the day. You won't know. The love is real, but it could be fake. You won't know. If I pray to the Lord, will I be okay? You won't know. I watch everyone because the game is changed. You won't know.
When you just believe what you call that faith. They broke your heart, but keep that faith. You lost your job, but keep that faith. You can't see him, but it's there. Faith. When you just believe what you call that faith. They broke your heart, but keep that faith. You lost your job, but keep that faith. You can't see him, but it's there. Faith. Tomorrow ain't promised. It's so hard. How will I make it? You won't know. When I close my eyes and say my prayer, will it take it? You won't know. I wanna believe I'm on my knees. Will it leave me naked? You won't know. Will it cover me, set me free, and be protected?
You won't know.
You won't know.
You won't know.
Hey, that's new music by Mac Nass right there. Faith. Dope shit, man. I hope y'all got down to that. That was definitely a groove. Peace, y'all. Welcome to the Juice. It's another Monday night episode. So grateful to have y'all here, man. Peace and love to all of you. already tuned in, man. I love to see y'all here. I didn't do a whole lot of promo for tonight, so much apologies and gratitude for those of you who just, are just juicians, and so you're just here because you already know what it is, and same bat time, same bat channel. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Welcome to the show tonight. I want to talk about a few things, but first of all, I was right before the show started, I saw this video, and I just want to play real quick this video for you guys and just chat about it for a second, because these types of things are important for us to talk about and to continue to have knowledge in. You know what I'm saying? So the Instagram page for the lady I'm about to show, her video is called Goddess Aura. And so here's her video, y'all.
So just as things couldn't get any worse, Trump signs an executive order criminalizing homelessness and also going ahead and throwing out disability. Yeah. And ensuring that anybody that cannot do for themselves are thrown in jail. Yeah. Cannot make this up. It's already deemed that food is not a human right. They're already taking away freedom of speech. And now we have an executive order that criminalizes homelessness. So think about everybody that's wanting to do RV living. Think about everybody that's wanting to do alternative. You get what I'm saying? You get where it's going?
Mm. Okay, so shout out first of all to Goddess Aura for that video, because I love when people keep us, we can keep each other informed on things that are going on. Because I didn't know about that until I just saw that. And so I haven't had a chance to even do any research on it. So I don't know the full details of it. But even just hearing things like that, even the full details aren't super relevant in this case, because it just shows you how easily they can change things on us. And so being fully immersed in their game and being completely reliant on everything that's set up in their game is the least to like our least advantage. It's very much to our disadvantage. So this is why right now, more than ever, it is time for us to unify and find communities and villages amongst one another. So Thursday nights, we do the village meetings, and love to have y'all there. They've been going really great. It's been super successful. Every week we've been having new people show up. So I don't know. I'm super grateful because I feel like the right people are just kind of coming together. And so if building community is something that interests you, I urge you to come to a village meeting. It's definitely a good thing for us to start building community with one another, and having people that you can rely on, relate to, come together with and collaborate to make movements and to go forward with things. Because the way things are going, there's a lot of iffy stuff that's up in the air. And so the more we can have a stable foundation and unify with one another, the better. Just a thought, y'all. So we'd love to see you on Thursday nights, that is. Come down. Right now we're at the Palace Community Center in St. Paul. I'm thinking about changing that somewhere a little bit closer to Minneapolis area or something. Because for sure I am there every single week and have to be there every single week. So that is a little bit far for me, but I still have been making it happen because, I don't know, because I have to be there for you guys, And also one of our village members set it up for us. So, and it's a super dope spot. Like, it's really chill, and they let us be there, and they're cool people. They're really nice, and I love them. So I have been enjoying going there. It's just kind of far. That's all. In rush hour traffic, I guess is what it is. It's the traffic on that way. For whatever reason, on that way right there, the traffic is like crappy. So it makes it longer than it needs to be. So for right now, we're still there though, until I find like a more centrally located area for everyone to get to a little easier. That's going to be the spot. And bring the kids. It's cool. They have like a basketball court there and stuff like that too, so the kids can go play basketball, or we meet in the teen room, which is got beanbag chairs and stuff. It's super chill. It's really comfortable. It's a great space for people to connect and be. And so yeah, come through. Andy, peace, man. See, that's one of our village members, man. Missed you last week. Be great to see you guys soon. I hope that practices. So, yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about that real quick because I saw that video and I was like, "Gee, do you see like how all this type of shit is just playing out like bit by bit, piece by piece? You just see all the little puzzle pieces being put together to show you that they are really taking away more rights. And the best thing that we can do is start setting ourselves up to be in a situation where we can survive without them. And yeah, we are village people. We are tribal people. Like this is our like innate nature. This is who we are as a people, is to live in community, live in village settings, live in tribal settings and tribe settings. Because yeah, can we do things on our own? Of course, and if you only had yourself to take care of, it probably wouldn't be too difficult to take care of yourself in a small little space with, one shelter and feed yourself and things like that. But like, if you have a family of any kind, it starts to become more and more difficult. But the more people you have, the more easy it becomes, because you have people who have different skills and talents. And the saying, many hands make light work, is true, so especially when people have their own gifts and their own skills, and they bring those, because you cannot possess every skill. I mean, you could try. I feel like in my life I have tried to possess every skill, and I still continue to strive to possess every skill and speak every language. So I get it. It's fun to try to do everything, but you don't have to do everything. And that's the nice thing about community and village. So I just want to touch base on that and invite you to come to a village meeting. And if you don't live here in Minnesota, you live somewhere else, and then I encourage you to start your own village meetings and do the same thing in your area. Bring your people together and start building community where you are, and connect with me, because I would love for us to have that network and connection with one another as well. So you have a connection up here with our people, and we have a connection with you down there with your people. Like, that's the whole point, because now we're building a grid across the world. And there's a lot of power in that, if we've got friends all over the place and we have friendly faces and connections everywhere, like, yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, 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 beautiful. So please, if you're doing this in your area, connect with me. And if you're not doing it in your area yet, I encourage you. I hope you feel inspired to start building community wherever you are. So tonight, you guys, I wanted to talk about the difference between reacting and responding. This is something that I don't know if people really think about, because reacting is something that we just do. And I feel like people don't really think about reaction versus response, because we are just so programmed and conditioned to react that we don't really even a lot of times think about responding? Or even do we have the option of responding, or what's, or that like response and reaction exist? I don't think people really think about that, and maybe some people do, and no offense to the people who do think about that, but today I wanted to talk about it because I think it's really important thing, and it's part of healing. It's kind of part of this like healing journey topics that I want to chat with you guys about. Um and so what is the difference between reaction and response? Okay, so reaction is something that is like an instant knee jerk, like it's an emotional, it's just something that you do without a thought process. It's just your instant, well, reaction, I guess, but without using the word in the definition, it's your instant, it's your instant presenting of emotion. It's how you instantly show how you feel about that scenario. So, for example, if someone tells you something and you're just like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" And you just start talking instantly like that, you're not responding. You are reacting because you have not even had taken a moment to process what just happened and what was just said before you even get a chance to think, okay, let me hear the whole story. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Andy, like when someone cuts you off on the road and you immediately get upset and angry and call the driver names. That's a great example because you're instantly in your emotions and you haven't had a chance to process what's just been said to you, what's just happened. You're just boom, straight to however you felt. And okay, so I went to therapy. If you've not gone to therapy, I highly suggest it. I hope you feel encouraged and inspired to seek therapy. It could be life changing for you. It was for me. Absolutely 100% was for me. There is no shame in seeking therapy. It doesn't have a gender. If you're a man, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you a girl. It doesn't make you less of a man to go. If you're a woman, it doesn't make you weak, cuz whatever the other stereotypes are for women, I feel like most of it is just weak, and it's just, taboo in general for a lot of people. But we're coming out of that era. I'm grateful for that. We're coming out of that era, but a lot of us grew up in that era where it was taboo and was considered like, if you're doing that, you must be crazy, and that's not the case at all. That was programming designed to keep you in your traumatized state of processing and not allowing you to expand and grow from a healed state. Because you guys, if we were all healed, I cannot even tell you how powerful we would be. We're not easily controlled when we're healed. We think differently, we speak differently, the conversations are different, the type of things that you allow and accept for yourself are completely different. How you view the world is different, how you view each other is different. So they don't want people thinking from that open heart space and expanded mind, open mind, free thinking, uncontrollable space. So they conditioned us to believe that seeking therapy was only for crazy people, or that it was somehow a negative stigma that we should be embarrassed about. And you 100% absolutely should not be embarrassed about it uh, at all. I encourage you to seek therapy and find someone that you feel comfortable with opening up to and sharing with honestly, being honest with this person about who you really are on a daily basis, about what you've been through that you can remember as a child, and so on and so forth, even every day. don't think that once you grow up and become an adult, like you don't face traumas, because we do. Oh my God. And if you're watching the news still, you're traumatizing yourself on a daily basis, because they are constantly bombarding you with trauma from every angle. And it's like rapid fire at this point. So yeah. If you have a job, you're probably traumatized. Like, let's be honest. There's a lot of shit going on in the world, and there's a lot of stuff that's traumatizing. So with that being said, like, yes, please seek therapy. It's life-changing. I totally forgot exactly what I was saying, but I know what I'm talking about. So going back to talking about like the difference between a response and a reaction. And so, we're not conditioned to think about responding and stopping in the moment and saying like, okay, that's what I was talking about in therapy. My therapist taught me feelings are not facts. And that's something that I really had to learn. And I'm not going to lie, because I was the type of person where everything would be like only based off of feelings and not what was true. So in my mind, I would just make up a story about something. For example, because I know probably I know I'm not the only woman or the only person, even men go through this too. But for example, in relationships, if I didn't hear from someone like in my time, I guess I thought was adequate amount of time, instantly my mind is like creating like the worst stories possible. So I would react based off of my feelings instead of responding after processing to say, I actually don't know what's going on, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Because really, like, that's the honest truth. That's not the feelings, that's the fact. The fact is you don't know what's going on, and that's okay. That's the fact. The feelings though don't necessarily always feel that way. So a lot of times in situations like what Andy said, where someone cuts you off on the road, you're instantly upset, and your instant reaction is to maybe call someone names or to just start being angry at them. Road rage was something that I battled for a very long time, and I feel like I've come up over the top of the hill, and I'm like on the downslope with that, because I do not like that. Just doesn't really even. I might every once in a while be like, say something. I just don't even get upset on the road like that anymore. I just don't really care. I kind of just, I'm taking my time. I'm chill. Like, I'm on my way. I'll get there when I get there. Everything in divine time. But that came over time. You guys, that took some years to get to that point, because there was trauma there for what I don't know what it was necessarily that made me so angry on the road with people, but I would just react and be angry and automatically just be berating somebody, which is something that we have to be mindful of, because our words are very powerful. And when you speak words with emotion behind them, that's even more power to that, because you've added emotion, and emotion is energy in motion. So that's something to be thoughtful of and mindful of when you're upset. I saw this really great video a few weeks back, and it was I wish I could find it because it's a really good share. And it was talking about times to be silent. And one of those times to be silent was when you're angry. And it's so true, because the thing about anger is that we have a tendency to have reactions when we're angry instead of responses. Because anger is one of those very explosive emotions that can come from multiple things. And it's really just like a buildup of uh, emotion or trauma or something that is up and stuck somewhere, and it needs to be moved. It needs to be witnessed so that it can move, you know? But it sits there and it festers, and it's so explosive that when it does finally boil up and come out, it has a tendency to bring everything with it. And the reaction and the way that we process is so clouded by anger that we say things that we really actually don't mean, and we do things sometimes that we don't mean. And you know, it's just really, and it's really kind of a scary and ugly thing. So if we can heal the traumas and the pent up traumas and the pent up energies that are trapped and stagnant in ourselves, that create that explosive overboiling, we can stop a lot of the things that we do and say when we're angry before they happen. And it gives you an opportunity to stop and say, wait a minute, let me process what has just happened or has been said here, and let me come back with what I actually want to say. And that's the beauty of response versus reaction. Is response allows us the opportunity to say what we really want to say and how we really want to deliver it. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, conversation is not about who's right or wrong. Conversation is about both parties feeling understood, comprehended, and heard or seen, you know? Uh, it's not about right or wrong. It's about being seen and comprehended. And that is where I think a lot of confusion comes in, and why there's so much debate sometimes with people. And so when we can step away from the aspect of ourselves that just explodes like that and allow ourselves to process the things that are happening, the words that are being said, what is this person really saying? Because a lot of times what someone's saying with their words and what they really are intending don't always sound the same to us, and they won't sound the same to a person who is healed and a person who is unhealed. So that is the really big takeaway, I guess, with this, is that in your healing process, you will begin to switch your reactions to responses. And you know, there's going to be times where you teeter back to the reactions too. Like, you know, have grace and patience with self, because you are learning and unlearning a lot of things that you have had as part of who you are for so long. You're going to have to unlearn those things in order to fill those spaces with what you're learning. And so have grace with yourself if you do backslide into a moment where you react where you would have rather liked to respond. And that this is where accountability is huge. Let me just say real quick that when you are in your healing process, and until you have a full grasp of being able to step away from the emotion of the thing and process and have a response, until you're able to do that on a super consistent basis, to where you're not reacting anymore, it's very, very important to hold yourself accountable when you do react. So what that looks like is going through and processing the conversation and seeing where you were, where you could have made a better choice, or where you could have stepped back and said, okay, you know what, let me take time away from this and I'll be back. Like, I can't have this conversation right now. Let's do this a later time. Then where you could have had that, that's where you can go back to and say, okay, I should have did that at this point. Process that within yourself, and then go hold yourself accountable and tell that person, like, yo, I apologize. It's okay to apologize. It's okay to apologize, y'all, and say, I apologize for my part in this. And this is where I should have stepped away from the scenario, because this is where I allowed my emotions to take over, and I was no longer responding, I was now reacting. And so I should have stepped away at this point instead of saying XYZ, you know? And that's really, really, really imperative, because it does a couple of things. Number one, it teaches you a little bit of humility and compassion, because you have to have compassion for yourself in that moment. And when you can have compassion for yourself, you switch how you look at other people, and you're able to have compassion for other people a lot more as well. So it's a beautiful thing, because what you do within yourself reflects into your outer world and how in your other relationships. And so the relationship that you have within yourself is the relationship you will have with others. So when you start to have compassion for yourself and hold yourself accountable, then you can have compassion for other people, and you have a tendency to notice that the other people around you will begin to hold themselves accountable as well. So it's really a win-win situation. And then also, it's a learning moment for everyone, to just be like, yo, this is a learning moment. This is a time that opens up the conversation to be able to, have these types of conversations with each other and know that it's a safe space. And then that person is more inclined to be accountable with you as well, because they realize that you are a safe space to do that, because you hold yourself accountable. And look, it's important to hold yourself accountable. It's important. It's a little uncomfortable at first. It is. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna sit here and try to fool you like it's all roses and sunshine, because um or rainbows and sunshine, whatever you like to say. Because it's not. Healing is not. It has its ups and downs and ebbs and flows. It's going to be great days. It's going to be days where you don't even know why you're crying, but you can't stop. It's going to be tough days that you have to have tough conversations with yourself, and you have to have tough conversations with other people. But those are beautiful growing moments, and ultimately you will be grateful for them. Real quick, I want to see, because Andy's over here freaking cooking. What is he talking about? One practice that helped me master response versus reaction was mindfulness meditation. Yes, very, very nice, Andy. That is a wonderful practice, meditation of any kind, but definitely when you can be mindful of the things that you are wanting to focus on, that's great. Guys, and if you don't already follow Andy, please go follow him on social media. He is a life coach, and he actually helps people with the types of things that I'm talking about right now and other stuff. He tailors it to what you need. So connect with him and get in tune with him, because he's here to help people get through these types of things so that you can be the best version of yourself. Seeing thoughts as cars on a road that pass by my mind stream, and choosing to give those energy or not is ultimately my choice. Yo, that's a really cool way of thinking about it. Yeah, if you can come up with a way to like decide which thoughts are more important to you, because what you give energy to is what's going to grow. So if you give energy to, same with like, oh my gosh, this was something that I had to learn, and at first it was really difficult, because well, I'm still this way, but I'm learning to harness my my yin energy, my dark side energy, my shadow side, so that I'm embodying it, so that I can have it on reins, you know what I mean? So that it can be there to utilize when I need it, but not just be running around willy-nilly acting crazy, because I have a very short fuse of 0 to 100 real quick. So it's like, at first it was really difficult for me to like slow down that and process. So the analogy you just use about cars and then choosing which one to give energy to, because it's really like those thoughts are really racing like that sometimes. And so you have to be like, okay, am I going to feed into this thing that's just making me more angry, or am I going to choose to leave that alone or look at it from a different perspective? because that's going to ultimately decide how that conversation continues, and how you feel about it and what energy you bring to it. Practicing this every day. Yeah, practicing this mindfulness that we were talking about every day gives you more time to respond instead of react to whatever situation you're in or thoughts that cross your mind. Yeah, and you know what, too? With that, I want to piggyback off that and say, like, even practicing it every day in little tiny things. Like, for example, if you drop something on the floor, if you would normally get frustrated with that, practice in that moment to not react to that situation, but to just breathe through it, so that way you can, like, step away from the emotion that you're feeling in that moment of being annoyed by the fact that you just dropped something. Especially like when something breaks, or if it's like your plate of food you were just about to eat, that's so frustrating, right? Or if you have children, especially if you have small children, excuse me, you guys. If you have small, that must be confirmation burps right there. If you have small children that like might knock something over or spill something on your paperwork that you were writing on, these are small moments in your life where you can choose to respond instead of react. Step away from the situation, step away from the emotion, get out of your head, get out of your like whirlwinds of thoughts that are like, oh my God, da, 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 because ultimately at the end of the day, it's just paperwork. But your child's feelings are forever. That paperwork is not. And it's also like literally not that serious. It's never that serious. It's when it comes to humans versus things. So if a child, one of your kids is doing the dishes and they break a dish, that is another moment where you get to choose to respond or react. And do you want to worry? Do you want to react and like be upset and angry because a plate got broke? It's a plate. I don't care if it's your great grandma's fine china and it's been in your family for 150 years. I don't care. It's a plate. It's a plate. What holds more value to you? That plate or the child that accidentally it broke in their process? They didn't break it. They didn't do it on purpose. It fell. Like, have you ever dropped a plate before? I have. Woo, yo, y'all, if I could tell you about all the dishes I broke in my lifetime. But see, that's the thing, is that you have to really stop. And that's where you give yourself, this is where the beauty of response versus reaction comes in. Because when you allow yourself that moment to like just breathe for a second and say, what's more important here? The fact that my child right now feels really bad. They're probably embarrassed. They probably feel terrible about the plate breaking. And like, you get a choice in this moment to decide to either comfort them and tell them like, it's okay, it's just a plate. You know what I mean? No big deal. You know what I mean? Are you okay? You know what I mean? That's what's more important. Or are you going to be upset, be angry, yell, maybe even say some things that could be hurtful, or do some things that could be hurtful? Depends on how some people take it there. I mean, this is a judgment-free zone. We're learning and growing here. So my aim is for you to learn for yourself what you want to keep in your inventory and what you want to get rid of. So, like, you get an opportunity in that moment to decide which route you want to take, you know? And at first, I'm not going to lie, y'all, you've got a lot of reprogramming. You have a lot of unlearning to do to stuff that learning in. So, the first time you might go, "What the fuck?" But it's okay that you did that. And I know you're like, what the, but it's okay that you did that. You know why? Because especially if you can stop yourself in that moment and realize, wait a minute, I'm reacting right now. It's okay that you started to react. And even if you do fully react, but you learn from that moment and you make a new change next time, you make a new, see what I'm saying? It's all about baby steps. It's all about progress. Slow progress is better than no progress, they say. And that's so real, because as long as you are implementing these things and you are, I don't want to say try, because you're either doing it or you're not. But here's the thing, is that doing it doesn't always look like you fully succeeded right away. That's the thing, is I don't want you to think that you're just trying when you're doing it, even if it doesn't always look the same. As long as you're consistently putting in your best effort into it, you're consistently putting your best foot forward. That's the most important part. Because every day it's going to look a little bit different, and sometimes you're under different stress points, and you might start to react. But if you can catch yourself even in the moment and say, oh my God, I'm reacting, and stop and take a deep breath and go, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this right now. Even if you can just say that and walk away, even if you can't say anything and you can just walk away, take some deep breaths. The fact that you can stop yourself and start to make a new choice, you will begin to see uh you will begin to see more and more that it starts to become easier the more that you do that. And that's why, like Andy said, every day practicing this, even in these little moments, even in these just every moment you get the chance to, it's going to change everything. Even like, oh my gosh, if you are on social media, if you're scrolling through your timeline and you see something that gives you a knee-jerk reaction and you start to get an emotional reaction from it, that is a moment that you get you get the opportunity to practice reaction versus response. Because now you get to say, oh, okay, are you going to just have the emotional reaction towards what you read or you saw? Or are you going to step back for a moment, process it, and then decide how you feel about it after that? How you'd like to move forward after that? Same with the broken plate, which, by the way, it's a fucking plate. It's a fucking plate. We really have to get back to remembering what holds real value in this world, in our lives, because there has been a huge disconnect between what holds real value and material items, because they don't. Andy said, man, facts. Accountability sucks at first. It's super bad. But it really turns into a superpower if you get it down. Factuals and actuals. Sir, that is so true. And yeah, it is a crucial point right there, especially when your kids are little. If your kids are little, you guys, man, be mindful how you speak to them. Be mindful how you react to them. If your kids are little right now, I urge you and inspire you to, I hope you feel encouraged to start healing. Get some therapy, get some healing, start practicing now. Because the longer you wait, the more of an impact you have placed on your child that you have to now unteach what you have taught. And I will tell you, it sucks. Because parent guilt, oh my God. Yeah, parent guilt is one of those things that it's like, and until you feel parent guilt, you can't really fully comprehend it. You can probably, like, kind of get where it's coming from, but like parent guilt is one of those things that kind of haunts you. And until you forgive yourself, you got to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself, because no one else is necessarily going to forgive you. Also make right and make good on what you've done. That's all these social media companies do. They put out information to keep people locked in a specific mind state and frequency, and ultimately keeping people trapped where they are. 100% true. And you guys, you have a lot of control over, I mean, social media in and of itself is already like, it's a catch 22. It's a gift and a curse. It's a trap because it is something that is addictive, and they have psychologists and come in and show them how to create this app to be as addictive as it is. Not to mention the fact that this might be going a little deep for some of y'all, but your cell phone is actually like a cellular device, and it's crystalline technology, which you're also crystalline technology, and you have cells, and your cells are merged with your cell phone, which is all by design. But especially if it becomes more and more like, you can't even imagine, like if you're wearing wearables like um smartwatches of any kind, or the wireless AirPods. These things are super connected to your thoughts and your brain waves and things like that. And so these social media, they use these things to put certain ads in front of you, certain videos in front of you, but you do have a lot of control over your algorithm by what you choose to interact with. So if right now you are in a process of a glow up, of um changing what you choose to put your energy into, you have a lot of control over what you will see on your timeline by switching your algorithm. You will want to stop giving energy to the things that you no longer wish to see. So for example, let's say you see a lot of low vibrational content, fights, people fighting outside the clubs, people, arrests, and arguments, and like actual like street fights, and just negative content, violence, and just low vibrational content. If you are seeing a lot of that and you don't want to see that anymore, and you wish to see more high vibrational content, what you will want to do is remove your energy from that which you don't wish to see anymore. Stop liking it, stop watching it, because the algorithm works by what you watch. It knows how long you sit on something. So by how long you sit on something will tell it if you like it or not. It actually is scanning your retinas, and your can read your emotions and feelings about what you're watching and viewing. And then also how you interact, if you do interact with it by liking it, or sharing it, or commenting on it, things of that nature. So that is how the algorithm will set up what it shows you, is by those things. So if you don't wish to see things anymore, stop liking them, don't watch them at all, scroll right past them, or even say like make sure you unfollow the accounts that have those things playing that you don't want to watch anymore. Do not follow those accounts anymore. You're going to continue to see those things. And then also say, like, I know on Facebook now they have stuff like not interested. So you can say not interested on that. I believe other social medias do as well. You can say like, I don't want to see things like this anymore. So that's one way, but also just removing your energy from it. And then on the flip side of that, you want to now begin to deposit your energy into the things that you do wish to see. So for example, if you are on a healing journey and you want to learn about healing types of things, you would want to go to pages where people are talking about the types of things that you're interested in. If you're someone who wants to learn how to do some type of craft, go to that page and start um, liking their posts, watching them, doing all the interactive things that you were doing with the negative stuff. Do all those interactive things now with the positive stuff. So you start depositing and investing your energy, your currency into what you do want, and you start pulling your currency, your energy, your away from what you don't want. So you will begin to see the shift in your algorithm. And I know this for a fact excuse me, because I personally did this. And so I know that it works because I have done it and it worked quite well. Quite well indeed. I have the algorithm now that I absolutely love. And if I go on any of my social media, which it's actually kind of a bad thing in a way too, because now it's like when I scroll through social media, I'm learning a bunch of shit. And I'm like, okay, so I'm on social media a lot. I'm learning a lot. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's still not a good thing to be on social media all the time, guys. So take breaks, okay? Take breaks and be sure that you are grounding and getting outside and getting your feet on the earth. And I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to you always. Just know that I am you and you are me. So, you know, that's one thing about when we speak. A lot of times we are projecting, even when we don't intend to. And it's not that I'm projecting something that's like going on within me, but maybe things that I'm saying may also be a message for me as well and a reminder for myself, because I'm still out here doing my thing too. This is the first day I've ever been this person in this age, in this moment, having this day and this experience with all of you. So, it's my first time too. And that's something that we can remember. That's something that I would love for you to take with you, if you would. Um, to remember that about yourself and give yourself grace. And when you do that and you have compassion for yourself, you will in turn have grace and compassion for other people, to remember that it is also their very first time in this day, at this age, at this point in their path, being who they are, having this experience that they're having. So when we can have grace for ourselves and compassion for ourselves, we can do that for other people as well. And that, I think, is one of the I think that's one of the most powerful things that we can learn in this healing process, is to have that love and grace and compassion for ourselves, because a lot of times we blame ourselves for so much, which is also why we have a tendency to point blame at other people so much before we're healed or before we begin growing in that aspect, because we blame ourselves for so much. And because most of us, our traumas, or the majority of our traumas, come from childhood or from things that we carried from past lives or from our ancestral traumas. But the majority of the traumas that we have experienced in these bodies come from our childhood. So we have a tendency to either cover those things up or blame ourselves for the thing that happened. Um, and so that is where that aspect of like blaming other people comes from, because we blame ourselves for a lot of the things that we have endured, whether we realize it consciously or not. So that's where a lot of forgiving yourself for choices that you made in life, or relationships that you allowed with yourself or with other people. Because if you allowed it with other people, you first allowed it with yourself. So having grace for yourself and compassion for yourself and forgiving yourself for enduring things is really, really, really powerful in your healing process. And I feel like these things happen in layers. So like you might be like, "Oh, I love myself. I forgive myself." And you probably do a little bit. But the deeper that you go in healing, the deeper you will feel that compassion for yourself. The deeper you will feel that grace for yourself. The deeper you will feel that compassion. I said compassion already, but that what was I saying? The deeper that you will feel that um that like empathy for who you were, and that it's not your fault. You know, the deeper that you will just have that understanding, and your levels will just keep getting deeper and deeper as you continue to heal and grow. And that's also going to be reflected in your relationships with other people, because you will also have more compassion and grace for, believe it or not, even people who have really hurt you. And that's when you really know that that has started to settle in with you, is when you can start having compassion and grace and um what is the word I'm looking for? I keep not being able to find the word, y'all. Um I said it already. Forgiveness. Thank you. Gratitude. Forgiveness. When you can have forgiveness for yourself, and then you can start having forgiveness for other people. And I noticed for myself, I forgave myself and I forgave other people. But I feel like I feel like I forgave other people first, but I didn't. I said I forgave other people first, but it wasn't until I really started to forgive myself, which was actually the most difficult part, that was when I really felt true forgiveness and release and relief from things that I had endured in my childhood. So it's like you can start off with being like, I forgive this person. And you don't even have to tell the person that you forgive them. You know, you can write it down. You could just say it. You could just feel it. You could just talk to yourself about it. But starting to forgive other people, even the people that hurt you, and even the people that hurt you the most, that kind of starts you on that path of being able to like look within and forgive yourself, which I really do feel like forgiving myself was really difficult. And that's, I think, too, part of like the parent guilt that we feel, you know, as parents, because when you start to heal, you realize like, dang, I was a shitty parent. Like, not really a shitty parent, but like, you know, made shitty choices. Like, there's times where I could have made better choices with how I parented and things that I was doing in my life, you know. So, and a lot of times we do that as parents when we're unhealed, and it's not, oh, that doesn't make it okay, but that's a reality. But then when you realize that about yourself, then you can go back and go, holy shit, I made those choices because I was unhealed because of what happened to me as a child. Then that means that the person who did this to me made the choices that they made because they were unhealed, because what happened to them as a child? Oh my God. And when you come to that realization that the people who harmed you when you were a child were grown up victims as children themselves, it like, yo, I remember the first time that really hit me, I bawled, y'all. I sobbed. I sobbed and I cried and I bawled. Not for myself, but for the person, for the people who I was forgiving, for the people who had harmed me as a child, because then I thought, like, I literally saw them as children and realized, like, that little boy or that little girl was harmed. Like, they saw things or they endured things that literally made them who they were. And that was why they made the choices they made and why they were who they were, why they did the things that they did, was because of what they went through and the traumas that they endured that they never healed from. Because remember, excuse me, like we talked about in the beginning, a lot of us come from an era. My generation comes from an era of therapy and healing being like unheard of and taboo. So imagine our parents and our grandparents. And you know, if our grandparents were doing fucked up shit to our parents, then what happened to our grandparents? Do you see what I'm saying? It's a cycle. But that is what is so important about us doing this work now, because we are breaking that cycle. because everything that my great grandma and great grandfather and your great grandfather and great grandmas, everything that our great grandparents and great great grandparents had to go through, and so on and so forth down the line, it trickled down the line. It was like that slippery slope. Yeah, we get to be the barricade that like stops that slope from continuing to slide onto the fucking village and dump mud on everybody. No more, bro. Now we're going to like divert it, and we're going to use that mud to create a nice wall, because when that mud dries, it's going to be a nice, strong, stable wall. Let's throw some grass in there and some other stuff and create a nice, strong, stable wall. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can choose to transmute these energies and utilize them for good and change the trajectory of our families. Because when you heal yourself, you heal your generations before you, and you heal the generations in front of you, if not by literally healing them because they were already traumatized, or by not having them be traumatized in the first place. And that's the ultimate goal, is for us to start creating families where our children don't need to heal from their childhood at all. I'm grateful that I started this healing process when at least one of my children was still relatively young. My older two kids were sadly not, but still I have been able to, have conversations with at least one of my children. One of them doesn't speak to me, and he has every right to do that. That's fine. One day he will, and I love him regardless. But he has to make his own choices, and I'm well aware of that. But I was able to actually have some healing moments with my youngest child. So he was able to start life on a whole different path. And that is something that can change our future. And if your children are young and you are younger, and your kids are young, you can heal now and change the way your children grow up and change the way you parent them, because it's more than just not being who our parents were. It's about being like the best you for yourself. Because when you're the best you for yourself, you heal that inner child, and then you allow your children to become the best versions of themselves from day one. And the way that you see them blossom, and the way that you're able to nurture them in a different way, in the way that you needed, yeah, it's worth it, y'all. It's kind of tough. I'm not going to lie. It has its moments. But when you start to get through the really, really tough parts, you start to see these breakthroughs, and you start to notice change in your life, and everything that you think that you lost, you gain within yourself. And you also, you start to gain in people around you, because although what we say we lose, a lot of friends or whatever, or family even, it's not a loss, because everyone isn't meant to stay in your life forever. We come here with contracts, and when those contracts are up, they're up. Some people are just meant to get you to a certain point. Some people were literally brought into your life to purposely hurt you so that you would unlock things in yourself. Like the traumas that you went through, they weren't in vain. And they only are in vain if you don't allow yourself to grow from them. If you don't allow yourself to utilize and transmute those energies into power, because you went through those things for a reason. You endured those things for a reason. You created those things for yourself for a reason. And I know if you're not in a healed space, what I'm saying might sound insane, and you might be calling me all kinds of names and like, who the fuck do I think I am? Oh, so it was okay that this person did that to me. I'm not saying it is okay. And if you hear that, you're hearing me through trauma lenses. What I'm saying is that you chose these things before you ever came here because you knew that these are the things that were going to unlock your most amazing powers within yourself. So, was it okay that that person did that to you? No, but it was for a reason. Don't allow the pain that you endured to be done in vain. Embody it, heal it, grasp it, use that energy, transmute that energy, and unlock the power that was meant to be unlocked with it. Somebody obviously needed to hear that. I don't know where that came from. If you want to raise emotionally mature and conscious human beings, first by being one yourself. Oh my God, 100%. Because, and you know this because you have children yourself, so you know you are 100% the role model and example for them, and they are watching you. And oh my God, when they're little, when they're under like 8, so with 7 and under, like they are literal sponges, you guys. They are sponges. They are absorbing everything. And here's the thing I need you to comprehend: they are absorbing what you say, what you don't say, what you do, what you don't do, the energy that you are emitting. Yo, everything. Children are tapped in, y'all, and they are aware of everything. Whether you realize it or not, they're aware of everything. They're aware of what you're saying, how you're saying it, what the energy is behind it. They're aware of the words you're not saying, all that. And when you say something around a child, they take it in a very exact sense. They take it how you said it. They're it's black and white for them. It's not until they're older that they begin to really comprehend joking and sarcasm and things like that. Like even when they laugh or they like they can get it a little bit, but they don't fully comprehend it. So if you tell a child something, they're going to take it at face value for the most part. And so just be mindful of that when you're talking to your children. Be mindful of that because they may not be taking it how you intended it. Their perception of it could be different because their perception is based off of their opinions and the experiences that they have thus far. And if they're 4 years old, they don't have a whole lot of experience thus far. So be mindful. And it's the first time they've been 4 years old doing the thing that they're doing. And man, I know you were 4 years old once, and it was your first time too. And I get that you've done it a whole lot of times since then, but they haven't. Have patience, have grace, have compassion. Teach them what they need to know from a place rooted in love. They're not stupid. They've just never done it before. So teach them. You expect them to know some shit that you don't even fucking know half the time. Stop doing that to your children. Stop expecting your children to be more emotionally mature, more psychologically advanced than you are. Stop expecting them to be more mature than you are. Stop expecting them to know things that you don't even know. Like, come on. People are so irrational with their children sometimes. And I have been there before. So I'm not saying that from a place of like, I've never done that, because I definitely have gotten frustrated with one of my children before because of them having what was probably a normal response for that age group and for not knowing any better. But see, the thing about it is that no one ever had patience with us. And we were always told to stop crying, or they would give us something to cry about. So emotional intelligence went out the fucking window. And crying was, first of all, just weak in general. You know, you had nothing to cry about that didn't actually hurt. Like, the list goes on, y'all. So we were super emotionally repressed and oppressed, and I get that. And that is your inner child that is blaring out when you say things like that to your children, because you are regurgitating what was said to you. And this goes back to what we're talking about with reaction versus response. This is where reacting is detrimental and responding is gold. If you can step back from the emotion in that moment and from you being that little kid being yelled at like that, if you can step back from that and remember, dang, this child has never done this before. They don't know anything about this type of stuff. Let me take a deep breath and show them what it is they need to know. Because nobody ever did that for you. And it heals both of you when you do it. It heals both of you. It heals you and that little child that never got a voice or never got to be shown something, wasn't taught, and instead was just berated or put down, degraded. It allows you to heal that child. And you're healing the future. And you're teaching your child how to be and do the things that they should be doing, or that's, you know, the right way to do it, or the right way to handle situations. You're teaching them because no one ever taught you. Imagine how much further your child can be emotionally if you teach them now what no one ever taught you, and it took you till you were 30, 40, 50, 60 years old to learn. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's the goal here, guys. That's why if you're here listening to me right now, you're a cycle breaker. Excuse me, my nose is itching like crazy right now in this nostril here. You're a cycle breaker because you're somebody who actually gives a fuck about what is going to happen to your children, what is going to happen with the next generation. And so that's how we break the cycle. That's how we heal the generation in front of us without them ever having to actually be healed. You know, they get to start off ahead of us. the whole goal is for you to learn as much as you can, and then you take that packaged up little thing and you teach that to your children. You teach your children everything you've learned, because then they get to move forward with all of the knowledge you have. Imagine starting off the world, in the world when you began out into the world with all the knowledge that you have right now. Because imagine if your parent was able to pass down to you all of the knowledge that they had gained in their 30, 40, 50 years of existence before you go out into the world, right? That is powerful. And that is one of the most amazing things that you can do with the information that you learn in this process or in your journey in general. Anything you've learned, you can start teaching it to your children. We have a tendency to like coddle our children and shelter our children and oh, you can't tell your kids that. They can't handle that kind of information. Yes, they can. Yeah, I am the queen of unpopular opinions because I say teach your children everything, like straight as it is, like no sugarcoating. Tell them the world how it is. Teach them how the fuck the world really is. How motherfuckers really are out here. What type of things they really have potential to face in this world. Because not doing so is setting them up for failure. You're setting them up to have to figure it the fuck out in the moment instead of having at least an idea of how they would handle a situation. Because knowing how you would handle it like in your mind when you've heard about it, and then like actually being in the scenario are obviously different things. But look at it like this: if you never even had the opportunity to process how you would handle a situation because you never even thought that that situation could exist or about that type of situation, or no one's ever explained that to you, versus having that, at least that little bit of knowledge where you could have been like, damn, okay, so if I was in that situation, how would I handle that? Like, or your parent saying, look, this is how I handled it and that didn't work. Moving forward, I've experienced a lot of things in my life that say this is a better way of handling that situation. See, when you teach your children like that, now you've got their wheels thinking. You're giving them tools that they can throw in their inventory, their backpack, and use for later. Because even if they haven't used it yet, it's something that my dad told me that if I ever come into this situation, that like I should look for this scenario. And if that's happening, then this might be the case. Man, you could save your child a lot of stress, grief, bad friendships, bad relationships, bad business moves, bad friendships. Did I say friendships? Whatever. Yo, crazy situations. Man, I'm telling you what, teach your children what you've learned in this life as you go. Teach them as you go. Teach them as they grow. Everything. Like everything. Do not sugarcoat that shit. I use anything I can as a learning moment. I don't care. I will be like, oh, you see how that just happened? Okay, remember that one time I told you about do? That's exactly why I said that type of shit. I will use whatever I can as a learning moment with my kids, y'all. Because we are their first teacher. We are the person that will love them through these processes. We are the ones that are going to teach them rooted in love instead of from a place of not giving a fuck. Because once a human goes out into this world where all these other humans are of all different walks of life and all different experiences and all different opinions, man, you never know how someone's going to teach you that lesson, or how source might teach you that lesson. It may not be so kind and gentle. It may not be so rooted in love. It could be a little ugly. So how would you rather your children learn? From you? From a place rooted in love? or from a motherfucker in the street that don't give a flying fuck about them? It's your choice. It's your choice. Response versus reaction, y'all. I hope that you learned a little bit today about what responding looks like, what reacting looks like, how you can take some steps to start responding more in your life and doing less reacting. Because hopefully we can have better conversations with one another then, if we can learn to respond instead of reacting. And the more that you practice it, the more that it will be, responding is simpler for you and becomes quicker for you, because you start to have conversations where you just pull the emotion out of it faster and easier. So when someone's speaking, you're already processing what they're saying, so that when you speak back, you're able to respond in seemingly real time, as opposed to reacting based off emotion, and which is really dope. Gratitude, Andy, for being a part of the conversation tonight, man. I really, really appreciate you. Guys, again, go check out Andy anywhere you can. Right now, he's tuning in from YouTube, but he's also on Facebook. Andy, do you also have Instagram? Make sure you guys connect with him if you're looking for somebody to help you out with some life stuff that you're going through, or, how do you start this kind of process that I'm talking about? That's your guy. Hit him up and get some coaching. For sure. And you guys, I've had such a wonderful time with you this Monday. I hope you guys learned a little something, and there's some great takeaways for you. So that's my goal. If I can just impact one person and inspire just one person, I did what I came in that zone. I'm here to help y'all. I'm here to help raise vibrations. I'm here to help people heal. My human design is literally to go through shit so that I can teach people shit. I'm a manifester, a 3-5 manifester. If you know anything about that kind of, if you're into human design, I'm someone who comes with ideas and has ideas. I'm a leader and an idea bringer, and I'm someone who goes through shit to teach you shit. So I have been through a lot of things in my life, and I have lived so many lifetimes in even just this one vessel. So I have a lot of things that I can help you guys with, and I can teach you. So I hope that you feel inspired, and if I can just help one person, I'm grateful. So I love y'all so much. Peace, love, and positive energy, healing energy to you in your journey. If you need any help, please reach out to me. We're happy to help you in any way that can with these things. I'd love to see y'all come through for a Thursday meeting. It'd be great to have you all part of our village. If you're into community building, we're going to be doing some healing stuff in our village as well. So, that's part of the process, is for us to become best versions of the humans that we are, that we possibly can, and if we can do that together, rooted in love, man, imagine having each other to lean on. It's a beautiful thing. So I hope to see y'all next Monday right here, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys share this with a friend or someone you think could gain some insight on it. And I hope y'all have a fabulous rest of your week. All my village people, I will see y'all Thursday at the Palace. And gratitude, Andy, for setting that up. Those people have been so wonderful to us and very kind and very welcoming. So it's been a really wonderful experience there. And I'm very grateful for that connection. You guys, I'm going to end the juice tonight with, let's see, what should we play? What should we play? I'm going to play some Gwen Yvette, because her music is so upbeat and fun. And this song is called It's All Right, Just Do It, Do It. Gwen Yvette, y'all, South Carolina, in the motherfucking house. Y'all have a fabulous week. Make sure you come through next week. Oh, I should have had my little ticker going. I was over here jabbing just yapping away and didn't even have this on, so you guys could send me some information on you. If you want to get your music on the Juice, hit me up. Everything is right there. If you ever want to support the Juice, my Cash App, my Venmo are there. Please feel free to hit that up, you guys, and help keep this platform going. You know, support the girl. Also, if you have music you want to send me, the information on how to do it is right there in this ticker. If you have an independent business or an organization, a foundation that you would like to talk about, a movement you've got going on, I'd love to support what you have going on. Hit me up. Information is right there. And yeah, let's keep this thing going. The village stretches across the world, man. We are all hands on deck, hands across the world. I love y'all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Peace, love, and positive energy in all you do. I hope it's everything you want it to be or better. Peace, y'all. Gwen Yvette. It's all right.
Shout out to D4.
We coming in with some old Carolina soul. Shout out to the 843, baby. There's a lot of dances that are going around. The country girl, the boots on the ground. If you a stepper, gonna start with your right. But if you ain't, then it's still alright. It's your move, however you choose. Just do it, do it. Just do it, do it. Come on, baby. Let me see you get into it. Come on, baby. I wanna see you do it. It's your thing, however you swing. Just do it, do it. Just do it, do it. This party too lit, we having a ball. Fish in the grease, plenty alcohol. Cards on the table and they rolling the dice. Them steppers stepping in their boots tonight. Well, alright, it's alright. Solid party vibe till the morning light. Come on, baby. Let me see you get into it. Come on, baby. Yeah. I wanna see you do it. It's your thing, however you swing. Just do it, do it. Just do it, do it. Ain't nobody gonna turn me around.